Life was never meant to be reduced to a checklist of duties that drain your energy but never feed your soul. Some people wake up every morning only to go through the same motions: eat, work, pay bills, sleep, and repeat, like machines on autopilot. That's not living, that's existing. If you've ever felt that deep emptiness inside, it's because your spirit knows there's more to life than just breathing in and out. You were not created simply to exist. You were created to live with meaning, with impact, with fire in your bones. Survival is the lowest level of life. Animals survive, insects survive, plants survive, but you are not just biology, you are destiny. You were designed with thought, with intent, with divine blueprint written into your DNA. That means your life is not about just finding a way to get by, but about rising into the fullness of what you were born to be. Existence asks, how do I get through today? But purpose asks, how do I change tomorrow? When life feels meaningless, it's often because you've allowed yourself to be trapped in cycles that don't reflect who you really are. The cycle of chasing a paycheck, the cycle of living for others' approval, the cycle of routines that bury your dreams. It can numb your spirit until you forget you were ever meant for more. But the moment you realize life is bigger than survival, something inside you wakes up. That awakening is the first step toward real living. There's a reason you feel restless when all you're doing is surviving. That restlessness is the alarm clock of your soul ringing to tell you that you're settling for less than you were designed for. That emptiness you feel after working long hours and still feeling unfulfilled is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that your spirit is craving meaning. Survival may keep you breathing, but it will never keep you satisfied. The problem with survival mode is that it steals your vision. When you're only trying to make it through the day, you don't plan for tomorrow, you don't dream, you don't create, you don't step into the unknown. You shrink your life to the size of your fears. But the truth is, you were not designed to shrink, you were designed to expand. Life is too precious to waste it on the bare minimum. Living with meaning is about stretching beyond the bare necessities. It's about asking, why am I here? What difference can I make? How can I leave this world better than I found it? Survival only answers the question of how do I keep going, but meaning answers, what am I going toward? That shift changes everything. It takes your eyes off just making it and puts them on making impact. When you recognize that life is more than survival, you start to realize you are more than what you're going through. You are not defined by your struggles, your debts, or your paycheck. You are defined by the fact that you carry something inside of you that is greater than what is around you. When you tap into that, even the struggles that once drained you become stepping stones into deeper purpose. So many people spend their lives running on fumes when they were designed to run on fire. Life has meaning beyond survival. And the moment you catch hold of that truth, you stop dragging your feet and start lifting your head. You start to walk differently, talk differently, think differently, because you know every moment is infused with significance. You stop counting the hours and start making the hours count. When you don't know where you're going, any road will look tempting. That's why so many people chase one thing after another, but still feel empty when they get it. Purpose is the compass. It gives direction when everything else is spinning. It's the voice inside that whispers, this is why you're here. This is what matters. Without that compass, you'll climb ladders only to discover they're leaning against the wrong walls. Purpose doesn't just tell you what to do. It tells you what not to do. When you have purpose, you can say no to distractions, no to detours, no to things that waste your time because you know where you're going. It becomes easier to cut out noise because you have a map in your spirit guiding you. That's why some people can go through storms and still keep walking forward. They're following purpose, not feelings. Every decision becomes heavier when you don't know your purpose, because you're unsure if the choice will lead you closer to fulfillment or farther away. But when purpose is clear, even small decisions make sense. You don't waste energy second-guessing every step because you know the steps are leading you to destiny. Purpose is not just a compass, it's a stabilizer. It holds you steady when life is shaking you. The world will always try to hand you its definition of success. But purpose doesn't measure success by comparison. Purpose measures success by obedience, by whether you walked out what you were created to do. Someone else may have more money, more followers, more applause, but if you're in your purpose, you are richer than all of them, because fulfillment is not found in popularity, but in alignment. The beauty of purpose is that it redeems pain. The things that once made no sense suddenly fit into a bigger picture. The heartbreaks, the failures, the setbacks, they all become pieces of the puzzle that led you to where you are. Purpose connects the dots backward and forward. Without it, life feels random. With it, life feels orchestrated. You don't find purpose by accident. You discover it by paying attention to what stirs you, what breaks your heart, what wakes you up in the night. It's hidden in your gifts, buried in your passions, whispered through your pain. And when you find it, you stop asking, "What do I need to live for?" and start asking, "What can't I live without doing?" Purpose makes you dangerous to mediocrity. It makes you immune to shallow distractions. It makes you unstoppable in the face of obstacles. When you know your purpose, you can be overlooked by men but never ignored by destiny. Because purpose will always find a way to push you into the spotlight it requires. Without purpose, life is a maze. With purpose, life is a mission. That's why you cannot afford to keep wandering. You must seek it, chase it, live it, breathe it, until every step of your life aligns with it. Purpose is the compass that will always point you in the right direction, even when you're standing in the middle of confusion. There are no accidents in creation. You may have been a surprise to your parents, but you were not a surprise to God. The fact that you're alive right now is proof that your life was intentional. You carry a gift within you, and the very breath in your lungs is evidence that your assignment isn't over. Life is not random. It's a carefully wrapped package of opportunity, time, and grace. Some people spend their lives questioning if they matter. They look at their background, their failures, their brokenness, and they start to believe they are a mistake. But you are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not your history. You are a gift that this world needs right now. And the enemy of your soul will always try to convince you otherwise, because if you don't recognize your worth, you'll never release your gift. When you see life as a burden, you drag through every day. But when you see life as a gift, you begin to handle it with gratitude and responsibility. Think about how differently you treat a valuable gift versus something ordinary. You protect it, you honor it, you cherish it. That's how you should see your life. It is priceless. Priceless because no one else can live it but you. The reason some people waste their lives is because they never saw the value in them. They think their life is just another breath, another day, another paycheck. But the moment you realize your life is a gift, you start to treat your time with respect. You stop giving yourself to things that don't matter. You stop allowing people to waste your energy. You stop living like you have forever and start living like your days are precious. The greatest tragedy is not death. The greatest tragedy is living without realizing your life was a gift to the world. How many songs go unsung? How many books unwritten? How many ideas never birthed because people lived like their lives had no meaning? A gift unopened benefits no one. Your life is a gift waiting to be unwrapped. Every gift has a giver, and the fact that life was given to you means you were chosen to carry something special. That means there's something inside you that only you can deliver. Someone else can mimic you, copy you, imitate you, but they can never replace you. You are the only version of you the world will ever see, and that makes your existence irreplaceable. When you start to see your life as a gift, you stop asking, "Why am I here?" and start asking, "What can I give?" Because gifts are not meant to sit on shelves. They're meant to be used. That's why the meaning of your life is not just in receiving, but in releasing what's inside of you. This world is incomplete without what you carry. Your voice, your talent, your love, your contribution, it matters. The day you see your life as a gift, you stop treating yourself like an accident. You start walking in the confidence that you were placed here on purpose, for purpose, with purpose. Pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Every tear, every heartbreak, every struggle is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, more resilient. Pain is the hammer that forges steel in your soul. It doesn't feel good when you're in it, but when you look back, you realize it built something in you that comfort never could. Most people try to run from pain. They numb it, deny it, avoid it. But the truth is, you can't escape pain. You can only decide whether it will destroy you or develop you. The same fire that burns straw will refine gold. The same storm that uproots weak trees strengthens those with deep roots. Pain doesn't just hurt, it reveals what you're made of. Some of your greatest turning points came out of pain. It was the heartbreak that taught you self-worth. It was the betrayal that taught you discernment. It was the failure that birthed creativity. It was the loss that taught you gratitude. Pain is a terrible teacher, but it teaches lessons you never forget. It points you toward your purpose because it forces you to grow into the person your destiny requires. When life is easy, we get comfortable. But purpose doesn't grow in comfort zones. It grows in the soil of challenge. Pain uproots you from where you've settled and pushes you toward where you belong. You may not want to leave that relationship, that job, that city, but pain will push you out of it if it's not aligned with your purpose. The truth is, you'll never know how strong you are until pain demands it. You'll never know how deep your faith is until pain tests it. You'll never know how much fire is in you until pain ignites it. What you thought would break you often becomes the very thing that builds you. If you look back at the painful seasons of your life, you'll see that they shaped your character more than anything else. Pain is like sandpaper. It smooths out rough edges. It hurts in the process, but it produces something polished, something valuable, something beautiful. Without pain, you would remain unshaped, unrefined, unfinished. Don't despise the seasons of pain because they are necessary for your purpose. They are birth contractions pushing you toward a new version of yourself. Every time you thought a pain was going to kill you, it was really birthing something greater in you. You were being stretched for something you didn't even know you carried. The meaning of life cannot be separated from pain because pain is often the doorway to purpose. It is the pressure that releases potential. It is the darkness that makes the light shine brighter. You may not like it, but one day you'll thank God for the very pain that pushed you into your destiny. You can have the car, the house, the career, the applause, and still lie awake at night asking, is this all there is? Because success without meaning is like a feast without food. It looks good on the outside, but leaves you starving on the inside. People assume that once they climb the mountain of success, fulfillment will be waiting at the top. But how many stories have we heard of people who reach the top only to say, I feel empty? That's because success is a place, but meaning is a purpose. The problem with chasing success alone is that it keeps moving. Today, it's a bigger salary. Tomorrow, it's a bigger house. The next day, it's more recognition. It never stops demanding more. Success without meaning becomes a treadmill that wears you out but never satisfies. It can fill your pockets but not your soul. It can decorate your life but not define it. Meaning gives success weight. A promotion means more when it aligns with your calling. Wealth feels different when it's used to build others. Influence is richer when it changes lives instead of just stroking ego. Success is empty when it only feeds you, but it's full when it feeds others. That's why some people with less are happier than people with more. They have meaning attached to their success. It's easy to confuse achievement with fulfillment. You can achieve goals, stack trophies, and collect medals, but still feel like something is missing. That missing piece is meaning, because meaning is not measured by what you accumulate, but by what you contribute. It's not about what you take from the world, but what you leave behind in it. When success is built on meaning, it can survive failure, because meaning gives you reason to get up when the applause fades. It gives you passion to keep going when the crowd walks away. Success will always fluctuate. Today you're celebrated, tomorrow you're criticized, but meaning keeps you steady through the highs and the lows. Don't settle for chasing success that has no meaning. Don't sell your soul to a dream that doesn't align with who you were born to be. The tragedy is not failing. The tragedy is succeeding at the wrong thing. What good is climbing to the top if the mountain was never yours to climb? People will pressure you to chase success that looks good to them, but you must choose success that is true to you. Because at the end of your life, no one will remember how many awards you had. They will remember the meaning you carried, the lives you touched, the difference you made. The emptiness of success without meaning is what drives people to despair. But the fullness of success with meaning is what makes life worth living. You cannot buy it, you cannot fake it, you can only live it. And when you live it, you find that true success is not about being the best in the world, but being the best for the world. Life is movement. From the moment you were born, you were growing, stretching, learning. Growth is the natural order of life, but many people stop growing long before they stop breathing. They settle into routines, settle into comfort zones, settle into cycles that keep them stagnant. But stagnation is silent death. It doesn't kill your body right away, but it kills your dreams, your passion, your creativity. Growth requires discomfort. Just like a seed must break open before it grows, you too must go through breaking points that stretch you. It's not always comfortable to grow. It demands sacrifice. It demands letting go of old ways of thinking, old relationships, old excuses. But without that stretch, you remain stuck in the same place year after year, wondering why life feels meaningless. Stagnation disguises itself as safety. People say, at least I know where I am, at least I'm comfortable here. But comfort is a trap. You can be comfortable in a cage, you can be comfortable in a dead-end job, you can be comfortable in toxic patterns. Comfort feels good in the moment, but robs you of the growth that gives life meaning. Growth, on the other hand, awakens your spirit. It forces you to dream again, to learn again, to expand again. Every new challenge you face is an invitation to grow. Every setback is an opportunity to stretch. Growth is not easy, but it's rewarding. It's the difference between looking back at your life with regret or looking back with gratitude. The meaning of life is not in staying the same, but in becoming. Becoming wiser, becoming stronger, becoming more compassionate, becoming more authentic. Every season of your life is meant to shape you into a deeper version of yourself. You are not supposed to leave this world the same as you entered it. Even nature teaches us growth. Trees grow toward the light. Rivers carve deeper paths. Seasons shift. Skies change. Everything in creation moves forward. The only thing that resists growth is fear. Fear of failure. Fear of change, fear of the unknown. But life doesn't reward stagnation. It rewards growth. Growth gives you momentum. Once you start stretching yourself, you discover strength you didn't know you had. You begin to see opportunities that were always there but hidden from a stagnant mind. Growth multiplies vision, multiplies capacity, multiplies influence. The meaning of life demands that you grow, not just in age, not just in years, but in character, in vision, in wisdom, in faith. Because the day you stop growing is the day you stop truly living. At the end of the day, it won't matter how much money you made if you don't have anyone to share it with. The true currency of life is not dollars, but people. The love you give, the friendships you build, the family you nurture, those are the real riches of existence. Without connection, even success feels hollow. Relationships are mirrors. They reflect who you are, what you value, and what you still need to grow in. The wrong relationships can drain you, discourage you, derail you, but the right relationships can lift you, sharpen you, and call out the greatness in you. That's why life's meaning is found in who you walk with, not just in what you achieve. Money can buy you company, but it can't buy you love. Fame can give you followers, but it can't give you true friends. Power can surround you with people, but it can't guarantee loyalty. Real relationships are built on something deeper: mutual respect, shared vision, unconditional love. The people you allow into your life either multiply your destiny or divide it. Every person you connect with is either a bridge or a barrier. That's why you must guard your circle, because your circle determines your cycle. If you walk with small minds, you'll think small. If you walk with visionaries, you'll dream bigger. Relationships are also where you discover meaning, because they remind you that life is not just about you. When you love someone, when you serve someone, when you sacrifice for someone, you taste fulfillment that selfishness can never provide. Giving yourself to others is the highest form of wealth. Life is short, and no one looks back wishing they had worked more hours. They look back wishing they had loved more, forgiven more, connected more. Regret is not about what you didn't buy. It's about who you didn't embrace. That's why relationships must be prioritized above possessions. Your greatest legacy will not be your job title, but your relationships. How did you treat people? How did you inspire them? How did you love them? That is what will echo long after you are gone. If you want to know the meaning of life, look at your relationships, because life is richest when it's shared and poorest when it's lived alone. You didn't come into this world empty. You came loaded with potential, packed with gifts, filled with destiny. Every seed of greatness you need is already inside of you. But seeds don't grow by themselves. They must be planted, watered, nurtured. Greatness remains hidden until you decide to cultivate it. Too many people die with seeds still inside them. Books unwritten, songs unsung, ideas uncreated. Because they were waiting for permission, waiting for perfect timing, waiting until they felt ready. But seeds don't wait, they're meant to be planted. And the longer you delay, the more you rob the world of what you carry. Seeds of greatness don't look like greatness at first. They look small, ordinary, easy to overlook. Just like a seed of an oak tree doesn't look like a forest, your gift may not look like much in the beginning. But if you honor it, nurture it, and put it in the right environment, it will grow into something bigger than you imagined. Don't compare your seed to someone else's tree. They may be in a different season. They may have planted earlier. They may have different soil. But your seed is just as powerful, just as necessary, just as destined to grow. Stop despising your small beginnings. Every great thing started small. Inside of you are seeds of creativity, seeds of leadership, seeds of compassion, seeds of resilience. They may be buried under fear, under doubt, under past mistakes, but they're still there. And the moment you decide to dig them out and plant them, your life will begin to bloom. Greatness doesn't come overnight. Seeds don't sprout into fruit in a day. It takes time, consistency, faithfulness. That's why so many give up too soon. They stop watering right before the breakthrough. But if you keep nurturing what's inside of you, in due season, it will come forth. The meaning of life is not just to exist, but to release the greatness inside you. To die with your seeds still unplanted is the greatest waste. The world is waiting for what you carry. Don't let fear rob the earth of your fruit. You were born with seeds of greatness, and the proof that you're alive is proof that your seeds are still waiting to grow. The world has trained us to believe that life is about taking. Take the opportunity, take the credit, take the wealth, take the fame. But the truth is, the meaning of life is found not in what you take, but in what you give. Giving is what transforms existence into significance. The richest lives are not the ones that gathered the most, but the ones too hat poured out the most. Giving isn't just about money. You can give time, you can give wisdom, you can give encouragement, you can give love. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness can shift the entire course of someone's life. A smile can heal a wound. A word can break a chain. A gesture can restore hope. That is the power of giving. When you hold on too tightly to what you have, you live in scarcity. You live afraid of losing. But when you give, you live in abundance. Because giving multiplies what you have. It plants seeds that grow back into your life in ways you never expected. Giving is not loss, it is investment. The truth is, selfishness shrinks your soul. The more you hoard, the emptier you feel. That's why people with everything can still feel like they have nothing, because they never learned to give. But when you live generously, your life expands. You feel bigger because you are connected to something bigger than yourself. Giving redefines success. It turns wealth into impact, talent into ministry, success into service. Without giving, even the greatest achievements fade quickly. But with giving, even the smallest effort echoes for generations. When you give, you discover that you have more than you realized. You thought you had nothing left, but giving reveals hidden reserves inside you. You thought you couldn't make a difference, but giving shows you the power of even the smallest contribution. The most meaningful lives are lived with open hands, not clutching, not clinging, but releasing. Releasing gifts, releasing love, releasing kindness. Because when you give, you become a channel, not a container, and channels never run dry. If you want to know the meaning of life, look at what you're giving, because living is not defined by how long you breathe, but by how much you pour. Every scar has a story, and every story carries strength. You may not like the struggles you've been through, but they are the chapters that make your life book worth reading. Struggles are not there to disqualify you. They qualify you. They are the evidence that you survived what others didn't. People don't connect with your perfection. They connect with your pain. They connect with the battles you fought, the storms you endured, the nights you cried but kept going anyway. That's why your struggles matter. They shape a story that can lift someone else out of despair. Your story is someone else's survival guide. What you went through wasn't just for you, it was for the person coming after you, who needs to know that victory is possible. Don't be ashamed of your past. Don't hide your scars. Don't bury your testimony, because your story carries keys to someone else's breakthrough. Struggles also strip away illusions. They force you to see what really matters. When you've been through hard times, you stop caring about impressing people who don't matter. You stop chasing things that don't satisfy. You learn to value faith, family, peace, and purpose. Struggles teach you wisdom that comfort never could. Your story gives meaning to your struggles. If you only see the pain, you'll be bitter. But if you see the purpose, you'll be better. Every struggle carved strength into you. Every failure carved wisdom. Every loss carved resilience. All of it is part of your story. And all of it matters. Don't compare your story to someone else's. Their chapters may look smoother, but you don't know what battles they're hiding. Your story is unique, powerful, necessary, and the very parts you want to erase may be the very parts that impact the most people. When you tell your story, you take the power back from your pain. You turn wounds into weapons, tears into testimonies, setbacks into setups. What once shamed you now strengthens you. That is the redemptive power of story. The meaning of life is not to have a perfect story, but to have a story that matters. And the struggles you've been through are the ink that wrote your story in bold letters. Fear is a thief. It steals your vision, your courage, your dreams. It convinces you to bury what you were supposed to plant. Fear whispers, "What if you fail?" Faith answers, "What if I succeed?" Fear says, "You're not enough." Faith declares, "I am equipped for this." Fear paralyzes, but faith mobilizes. Every meaningful step in life requires faith. Faith to believe in yourself when no one else does. Faith to take risks when the outcome is uncertain. Faith to step out of the boat when the storm is raging. Without faith, you will always stay in the shallow waters of safety, but life's meaning is found in the deep waters of trust. Fear will always try to shrink your dreams. It will tell you to aim lower, play smaller, stay hidden. But faith stretches you. It calls you higher, pushes you farther, dares you to believe bigger. That's why meaning can never be found in fear. It keeps you chained. Faith, on the other hand, breaks the chains and sets you free to pursue destiny. Faith doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It means you won't let fear decide. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. Faith says, yes, I see the risk, but I also see the promise. It shifts your focus from the size of the obstacle to the size of your purpose. When you walk by faith, your steps may not always make sense to others. People may call you crazy, reckless, unrealistic, but faith was never meant to make sense to people who can't see what you see. Faith looks beyond what is and believes in what can be. Faith gives meaning to uncertainty. Life is unpredictable. You can't control every outcome. But faith anchors you in the belief that your life has a purpose bigger than the unknown. You may not know the path, but you trust the destination. Fear will always keep you stuck at the edge of possibility. Faith will always push you into the middle of destiny. The choice between fear and faith is the choice between existing and living. If you want to find the meaning of life, you must silence fear and activate faith. Because fear shrinks life, but faith expands it. You can recover money, you can regain opportunities, you can rebuild relationships, but you can never get back time. Time is the most valuable currency of life. Every second is a slice of your existence, and once it's gone forever. That's why how you spend your time determines how meaningful your life becomes. Too many people live as though time is unlimited. They procrastinate, they waste days, they treat time like it doesn't matter, but one day they'll realize time was the one thing they couldn't afford to squander. The tragedy of wasted time is that you don't realize the cost until it's too late. Time is not promised. You don't control how many days you have, but you do control how you use the days you've been given. Every moment is an opportunity to love, to grow, to create, to give. Meaning is not found in waiting for the perfect time. It is found in making time count. You can tell what someone values by how they spend their time. If you spend all your time chasing money, that's what you value. If you spend it building relationships, that's what you value. If you spend it growing spiritually, that's what you value. Time is a mirror of your priorities. When you waste time on things that don't matter, you rob yourself of meaning, scrolling endlessly, complaining endlessly, gossiping endlessly. These are thieves of your time. They leave you with nothing to show for the days you were given. But when you invest your time in purpose, the returns are eternal. Every great achievement began with time invested. Every book written, every song composed, every invention created, it all required hours of dedication. That's why time is not just currency, it is also seed. Whatever you plant your time into will grow, whether good or bad. If you don't manage your time, someone else will. People will waste it with their drama, their demands, their distractions. That's why you must guard your time like treasure, because it is treasure. Once spent, it never comes back. The meaning of life demands that you stop waiting for someday and start living today, because someday is not promised, but today is in your hands. Sometimes the very thing you prayed away is the thing that pushed you into your purpose. Adversity doesn't always come to destroy. It often comes to awaken. It shakes you out of complacency, out of comfort zones, out of cycles that were killing your destiny. Trouble has a way of waking you up to who you really are. You don't discover your true strength in peace. You discover it in storms. You don't know the depth of your resilience until adversity tests it. Every obstacle you've faced has revealed a new layer of grit, a new level of courage, a new depth of character. Adversity introduces you to the version of yourself you didn't know existed. Destiny often hides behind difficulty. That closed door, that rejection, that setback, it wasn't the end. It was redirection. It was steering you towards something bigger, something better, something aligned with who you were created to be. What you thought was loss was really positioning. Adversity strips away illusions of control. It reminds you that life is fragile, that nothing is guaranteed, that you must live intentionally. It forces you to lean on faith, to deepen your vision, to discover meaning beyond surface success. Without adversity, you would stay shallow. With it, you become deep. Many of the world's greatest leaders, creators, and innovators were shaped by adversity. Their pain birthed compassion. Their struggle birthed vision. Their fight birthed resilience. Destiny rarely comes dressed in ease. It comes dressed in trial. That's why adversity is not your enemy. It is your awakening. The storms you survived didn't just pass by. They left you stronger. The fire you went through didn't just burn. It purified. The battles you fought didn't just tire you. They trained you. Every adversity carved you into the person your destiny requires. The challenge is to stop resenting adversity and start learning from it, to see it not as a curse but as a catalyst, to recognize that the very thing you thought would kill you was actually the thing that saved you. Adversity awakens destiny by forcing you to rise, and once you rise, you'll never fit back into the small spaces you came from. Happiness is fragile. It depends on what happens. If people like you, if things go well, if life goes smoothly, then you're happy. But the moment trouble comes, happiness disappears. Joy is different. Joy doesn't come from circumstances, it comes from within. It's not based on what happens around you, but on what is anchored inside you. Joy is strength. It gives you power to endure when everything else is falling apart. It allows you to smile through tears, to keep moving through pain, to believe in tomorrow when today is breaking you. Joy doesn't deny the reality of struggle. It declares that struggle won't have the final word. You can lose money, lose friends, lose opportunities, but if you don't lose joy, you still have strength. Because joy sustains you when nothing else can. It carries you through nights of weeping into mornings of breakthrough. It keeps you grounded when storms rage around you. People will look at you and wonder how you're still standing. They'll ask, how can you smile when you've lost so much? How can you still believe when so much went wrong? That's joy. Joy is not naive optimism, it's deep resilience. It's knowing that no matter what, there is still meaning, still hope, still future. Joy also gives perspective. It reminds you that bad moments don't equal a bad life, that storms are temporary, that setbacks are setups. Joy allows you to see beyond the present pain into the bigger picture of purpose. The world can't give you joy, so the world can't take it away. Circumstances shift daily, but joy is steady. It flows from faith, from gratitude, from knowing your life has meaning beyond what you're going through. When you cultivate joy, you become unshakable. Problems still come, but they don't break you. Loss still hurts, but it doesn't destroy you. Disappointments still sting, but they don't stop you. Because joy is not fragile, it's fierce. If you want to live a meaningful life, guard your joy. Because joy is not just an emotion, it's your strength. You are not here just to live. You are here to leave something behind. Legacy is the footprint your life leaves on the earth after you're gone. It's not about money or titles, it's about impact. It's about how you touched people, how you inspired them, how you shifted something in the world. Legacy doesn't begin when you die. It begins now, in the choices you make daily. Every act of kindness, every seed of wisdom, every life you influence, that's legacy. You are writing it every moment, whether you realize it or not. The danger is living so focused on today that you forget about tomorrow, chasing temporary things, ignoring eternal ones. But meaning is found in asking, what will remain after me? What will outlive me? Because life is short, but legacy is long. Legacy is not about being famous. Most of the people who leave the greatest legacies are not the most famous. They are parents who raised children with love, teachers who sparked passion in students, friends who stood by you when no one else did. Legacy is built in ordinary moments, lived with extraordinary purpose. Your legacy is not what you keep, it's what you give away. You can't take your possessions with you, but you can leave your influence behind. You can leave your values, your wisdom, your love, your example. That's what echoes in the lives of others. When you live for legacy, your perspective shifts. You stop asking, what can I gain? And start asking, what can I give? You stop thinking short-term and start thinking long-term. You realize that every decision plants seeds for future generations. Legacy also keeps you accountable. It reminds you that your life matters, your choices matter, your impact matters. It challenges you to live intentionally, not accidentally, to build something that will last longer than your years. Life's meaning is not in how long you lived, but in what you left behind. And every moment is an opportunity to shape a legacy that will outlive your name. You were not created to shrink into the shadows. You were not designed to settle for mediocrity. Playing small may feel safe, but it suffocates your purpose. The world doesn't need a watered-down version of you. It needs the full expression of who you are. Fear will always try to convince you to play small. It will whisper, what if you fail? What if they laugh? What if you're not good enough? But playing small doesn't eliminate fear. It just guarantees regret. And regret is heavier than failure. Playing small robs the world of your gift. The book you never wrote, the song you never sang, the dream you never pursued, someone needed it. Your purpose was never just for you. It was for the people connected to you. When you play small, they miss out too. Greatness doesn't demand perfection. It demands courage. Courage to step out when you're unsure. Courage to risk rejection. Courage to shine even when others want you dim. Playing small is easy, but living bold is meaningful. The truth is, you were created to be light, and light was never meant to be hidden. Light was made to shine, to illuminate, to guide others. When you play small, you hide what was meant to shine, and the world stays darker because of it. People may criticize you for playing big, but that's because your boldness confronts their fear. Don't let their insecurity shrink your vision. Don't let their doubt silence your dream. Playing small may make others comfortable, but it makes you miserable. Life is too short to spend it shrinking. Every day you hide your gift is a day wasted. Every time you silence your voice is a moment lost. Playing small doesn't protect you, it imprisons you. The meaning of life is not found in hiding. It is found in standing tall, shining bright, and daring to live fully. You were not created to play small. You were created to live large. Life is not about waiting to die. It's about daring to live. Too many people exist like they're rehearsing for someday, but someday is not promised. This is it. This is your life. and the meaning of life is to live it fully, passionately, intentionally, without holding back. To live is to embrace risk. To live is to love deeply. To live is to dream boldly. To live is to cry, to laugh, to fail, to rise, to keep going again. Life is not meant to be sterile. It's meant to be vibrant. If you never feel pain, you'll never know joy. If you never take key risks, you'll never taste victory. Living is not about perfection. It's about participation. Too many sit on the sidelines, watching others live, scrolling through their highlights, comparing and complaining. But the meaning of life is not in spectating, it's in stepping into the arena, dusty, bruised, but alive. To live is to create. Create love, create art, create family, create community. Every day is a canvas, and the way you live is the paint. You don't get to erase yesterday, but you do get to paint today. And the picture you create is your legacy. Living requires presence, not dwelling in